What's going on, everyone? My name is BoIt and I'm back with some more Age of Titans action. Spawning in the right of the map in the blue color playing Isis is the expert Spoeft. His opponent today in the red color playing Ra is Ert. His name is Ert from the team R&R, who I actually have no idea who are. It must be a new clan that I haven't seen that's spawned up on Vibly. It used to be an MG, I believe. That's what he used to be a part of. The map is Midgard, so you're going to definitely see some water action going on. Whether or not there's actually anything exciting that goes on there, I don't know, but people are definitely going to build fishing ships. And one thing I always like to note when viewing a water map like this is that docks are extremely underrated in terms of what they can do. In my opinion, they're basically worth a town center in the early stages of the game because they effectively double your production of villages. So that's like it's like you're having two town centers inside the game. So basically you get double the economy, which is ridiculous. And the really big thing about Egyptian players in this style on this map is that they can get two docks out before anyone else can. They have 100 gold at the start. Their docks cost 50 gold, so they can produce their first dock and then straight away their second dock. And what this means is, as soon as they have 5 villages on wood with a pharaoh empowering it, they can produce from those docks consistently. And that means that there's basically three town centers at like the 1 minute mark, or well, we'll see. He's got 3 villages on wood. Yeah, 3 villages on wood. I can't actually speak. 3 villages on wood. So there's going to be probably about the 2 minute and 10 second mark. They will have that 5 villages on wood, which means you can have three town centers producing stuff. That's ridiculous in my opinion. I guess the other thing to note is that this map is extremely strategical. I think it's the most strategical map in the game, just because there's so much stuff you can do. You can classical fight, you can classical rush land, you can fast heroic, you can semi-fast heroic on water or on land. You can, like, there's so many different options, and scouting is so key to this map to winning. And the amount of times I've seen people just simply build, like, I don't know, if there's Zeus, they build like 3 barracks in the middle of the map and then they just waltz over to the other person's gold mine and restore and win. It's ridiculous. If you're Egyptian, and you've got to utilize the fact you have obelisks so you can see the map. If you're Norse, you have to utilize the fact you have an Ulfsag to run around the map and see what's going on. If you're Greek, you have to utilize the fact you have those Catastropis scout to just see what's going on, continuously run them around. And the other thing you have to note and be able to do, especially on this map, is being able to look at resources being gathered, specifically pharaoh location, and make a educated guess based on what's happening. That's very, very advanced tactics, and if you can learn how to utilize that, I'll try and pick up on something like that in this game and explain how it goes. But if you can utilize that to your advantage and react accordingly, then you can catch your opponent by surprise by countering what they do. So basically, you have to know what's going to happen by seeing that, and then pick the appropriate counter to what you think is coming. And it's basically like metagaming, but it's not, because you're using information inside the game to make a judgment. So it's sort of weird, and it's really, yeah, if you can do it, it's really, really cool and fun when you get it right. Like, you're like, yeah, I completely read what you're doing, and I'm heaps excited about it. In other news, it looks like we've seen a 5-5-5 build by Ert. So that's 5 villages food, 5 villages wood. Well, actually, no, 4 villages gold, about 5 villages gold. That's the 5th one. And that's going to allow him to get that temple up and a couple of extra docks up as well. It looks like Spoeft did a similar thing, except with 6 villages on gold. He really wants to get those docks up. He does actually have, well, he doesn't have any gold left. He's throwing that temple up. He's got the 3rd dock up. I wouldn't be surprised to see him throw up an extra 2 docks just because of that extra security, especially with docks being able to shoot arrows with a fishing ship garrisoned inside it. I wouldn't expect to see any economic upgrades just yet, because you're spamming so many fishing ships, and it's really not worth it in terms of what you're going to be getting as opposed to what you could be getting. Like, pickaxe gives you 10% extra gold income, but an extra fishing ship gives you an extra villager. So unless you've got 10 villagers on gold, the pickaxe isn't worth it. So you're going to get the fishing ships out, but obviously pickaxe is worth it if you're not building anything else. Like if you're not building villages, it's fine. So you better get pickaxe when you can afford it. And let's see, we're going to see Spoeft going through Bast. I reckon that's his option, just because I don't think he's going to be doing anything. Actually, I don't know, he could go through Anubis and rush the Egyptian player, but I do believe that, yep, there's Bast. I do believe that Bast is a better option in this matchup, just because there's really no point in aggressive play because of shooting docks, because of dock massing, because of all of that other junk. So you're going to have to abuse other aspects of your god. As for I'm not exactly sure. He's going through Bast as well. That's not surprising, considering he really needs to have those that GP blocking ability for Ancestors Eclipse, or potentially Anubis if he had to. Also, it looks like he's going for a very monument heavy strategy, so I'm thinking Scarabs just because of the matchup, and if he can get a couple Scarabs out with Eclipse, then he can really take control of the map. But there's so many gold mines on this map, I don't know if a gold star is going to be possible, but he can definitely utilize it to knock down some buildings, counteract Ancestors Eclipse, do a bunch of nice stuff. He does have enough food and gold for going to the Heroic Age. And oh, there's something I probably could have talked about. As I was saying earlier, the Pharaoh, if he scattered it out, which I don't think he did, if you can basically judge what your opponent's doing based on the amount of villages on a resource and Pharaoh. If you, specifically the Pharaoh, if you see the Pharaoh on the wood, you can generally judge that the player is probably doing some form of wood-based strategy, so they're going to be making some cabinets, and then you judge how many villages are on wood. If he was doing a very heavy classical fight, there would have been about 13, 14, 15 villages or something like that, at least on the wood, and he wouldn't have had so many villages on gold at all. So you can basically judge that he's going to be doing some light aggression on land. As we can see, some cabinets coming out now, and he's going to be going to the Heroic Age with the armor going up. The RT for himself also going straight to the Heroic Age. His Pharaoh not really doing anything. I think he was empowering the gold mine, so you can see the gold mine being empowered meant that ERT, I don't know how to pronounce it now. I'm saying it's I'm probably wrong. It's probably like ERT or something, I don't know. But he's empowering the gold mine to do what he needs to do. Speoft, on the other hand, if we look at his camera, we look at the fog of war, he's being very effective with these obelisks. You can see basically the whole map. The only spot that he can't see is this little black region here. I would have expected another obelisk around here at some point if he really wanted to, but he's not going to do that, I don't think. But it basically, his vision's really, really strong, which is what's really important about this map. Knowing what your opponent's doing on this map is more important than any other map, in my opinion. Looks like it is going through segments, so we're going to be seeing some Scarabs coming out, but I think, I do believe that Spoeft knows about this in some way. Actually, no, he hasn't seen any monuments, so he doesn't really. He's only got the three Sphinx, the three priests out just because, but he's got that prosperity coming down, so as soon as he sees segment coming out, I believe that priests will be spamming instantly. And you see monument to the soldiers getting thrown down. I don't exactly know what he expects to do with that, but regardless, we see Nephthys coming through for Spoeft at the moment, going to be going straight to the Heroic Age. So a little bit of no action going on here. A couple of these cabinets going to be moving up now. Spoeft really needs to think about getting, well, he can't really get it faster, but he's going to the Heroic Age. He's going to throw that Midgard down. He needs to think about where he's going to throw it, because he knows that segments are so strong, Scarabs so strong, they can do so much. And if I look at his camera, he's not building any priests, which is a little bit surprising. I would have expected, as soon as he saw segment and the amount of score that it has, that Scarabs will be incoming. I don't understand why he hasn't quite done that yet. And it looks like Spoeft coming over here, going to be trying to harass this town center, but he's not going to be able to do all too much, as Ert's priest coming over here to deal with him. He's going to have to just retreat out of there. He doesn't want to lose any. Remember that the Sphinx of Ert's going to be doing a lot of harassing. They're going to be really good. Did I say Sphinx or Scarabs? I don't know. Scarabs are going to be a pain in the butt. I'm interested to see if Spoeft's seen the Scarabs yet. I don't think he has. He still hasn't produced. Oh, there's the extra priest coming out. I wouldn't be surprised to see funeral rites either. It's one of the strongest technologies in the game in terms of myth unit damage. If I click here and nope. I click here, and then I click here, you can see that, bugger. It doesn't say. I think it's a lot. I don't know. I can't. My mod's gone. I can't do tricky things like tell you what it does, but it does a lot. It improves your units by a ton. I wouldn't be surprised to see come in here now and really put the pressure on. He's got so many scarabs, but Spoeft sniffs that out. He knows he doesn't have the army to deal with the Eclipse push of so he's going to be using Ancestor Eclipse defensively to push these guys back. He's going to try and put some pressure on with it. He doesn't quite have any siege towers out yet, and he's still producing a bunch of... He's actually not producing anything from that Midgard, which is a little bit surprising. He really needs to think about grabbing the town centers, and, well, basically he just needs to get army out, doesn't he? He's not producing any siege workshops either. He's actually just producing a bunch of these priests, which, while it's not a bad idea, I don't think it's great. He needs to get out funeral rites as a must right now. He's actually throwing away a lot of units here, which isn't good. He's losing that Scorpion Man as well, which is going to be detrimental to, well, I don't know, it's one of the really strong units of your army which can tank a bunch of things. He's going to have to retreat here now. He's actually retreating with the priest coming with him, so he's going to be taking some extra damage from this camera, whereas he wouldn't if he had just let that priest come back a little bit. But that being said, he does have 1k food, so if he wants to start trading right now, he is able to, and his trade would be very, very strong. He's actually producing some war elephants now. I think that's a great choice considering that these scarabs aren't going to be doing all too much to them. They're pretty massive meat shields, and if they're fighting each other, it's going to be all good. On the other hand, it looks like he needs to think about getting some upgrades. Definitely, he doesn't have bow sword, he doesn't have shaft mine. He can afford shaft mine, which at least would be a start. Looks like he doesn't have that yet. Having only 10 villages on gold at the moment, which is a little bit interesting. There's so many villages on wood. I don't exactly understand that. I think the Spoeft skirmish on the water was shut down by docks. So that being said, a little bit of skirmish going on over here with some micro going on. Always need to be aware of what's happening there. Ra chariots are actually fast enough to dodge arrows, which is why it's interesting. Like with perfect micro, a Ra player shouldn't lose any of his chariots to the Isis player, but the matchup is considered uneven as a little bit of a skirmish goes on over here. Still these two, and a Leviathan as well, so a little bit of multi-management, multitasking going on over there. He's going to be picking up a couple of fishing ships. It's going to be a little bit annoying for and the Leviathan doesn't take any damage from the dock if I recall correctly, so we do see a little bit of shoot and scoot micro going on over here, but just running the cavalry around and not really taking any damage. And we do see the push coming in here. Got 2 scarabs. I believe that's 3 scarabs. The clip's going down. Moving in here. Has a bunch of priests over here. Do they have funeral rites now? They do have funeral rites, so they're going to be able to take it down, those scarabs, very quickly. Does the chariots? The chariots don't yet have the upgrade for whatever they call it, as they start trying to pick off those scarabs one by one. They do a fair bit of damage, but he's losing so many priests right now to that chariot archers, and the scarabs and the siege towers doing ridiculous damage. This is the Leviathan still taking out fishing ships. One scarab down. He's losing this next town center. He's got a bunch of siege towers on that as well. I would prefer to see that pharaoh focusing down that scarab. I don't think he's going to be able to hold this Migdol, but that being said, all of Ert's units have been picked off here. He's actually coming in with some reinforcements here, but war elephants out for Spoeft, siege towers out for Spoeft. He's at full supply, almost enough for the mythic age. I don't think this push did the damage that Ert was expecting, and he's going to have to retreat now and try and defend this impending counter push by Spoeft. I actually think that Ert's actually just thrown the game here, just because Spoeft has 3 town centers to Ert's 2 town centers, and this location is firmly in the control of Spoeft. Even with this micro, it's really strong micro actually by Spoeft. He's actually going to have to retreat here. He's got a bunch of these siege towers which would belong much nicer right in front of the chariot archers. What you can do is you can position them right in front of the enemy chariot archers, and then they prioritize them, which is what he's doing here. We do see that this push is continuing to come along here, and Leviathan's still doing ridiculous damage over into Earth's, I keep saying ERT, Earth's economy, and the Scarab here actually trying to pick off that town center. It's going to be a little bit of the sneaky sneakies for, yeah, I just said that, they're sneaky sneakies for if you can pick that off, and it looks like Spoeft actually hasn't noticed this yet, as Spoeft trying to throw up this Migdol, and he's actually going to lose that. He doesn't have any upgrades to stop that from happening, and the Chariot Archer is now in a bit of a weird position here, trying to pick off some of these villages. Spoeft garrisoning oh, and there we go, he finally notices. He's going to start repairing that, but the Chariot's coming over here, going to stop that from... What you stopped attacking? You could have killed it. I don't understand. I don't understand. It should go down. I don't think that Mason's is going to complete. The Mason's doesn't complete, manages to pick off that town center just, but it looks like with that going on, Speoft's actually managed to get this Migdol up in a really aggressive spot. So regardless of the fact that this town center's died, it looks like this town center is going to get claimed by Spoeft. So a little bit of a traded position here. If Ert can take advantage of this location and get this town center back, he might still be in this game. But that being said, there's so much of a population advantage for Spoeft at the moment that if he just grabs this town center back and this town center back, he's going to be in such a position. He's actually got so many resources at the moment. Oh, it's disgusting. I want to see what his armor upgrades are though, because often when you're sitting at this many resources, it means you've done something really wrong. You should have at least going to the Mythic Age. Secondly, he should be advancing some sort of army upgrades like heavy chariots, anything like that. And then thirdly, he should probably throw up 2 more armories and start getting those armory upgrades up. They're just setting so far ahead, and I believe that's why he scores so far ahead. Often what happens with score on the Titans is your score gets overinflated by how many unspent resources you have. It's really weird. Like, it's like, I don't know. He's got his population full, but I often notice that often when you're playing a game in the early stages of the game, if you don't have any, really nice micro there by he's actually managed to keep a lot of those heavy chariots. Those Chariot Archers alive just by running the Chariot Archers around and dodging the arrows of Speoft. Anyhow, back to my little story about score. Often in the early stages of the game, if what happens is you can't get any production facilities up and your resources tend to float a little bit above what they should, like say 1,000 instead of something a little bit less, then your score's going to reflect that, and it's going to look like you're actually doing really well when actually you're doing horribly. So yeah, that's that being said. Anyway, back to the game. It looks like Spoeft managed to reclaim this town center. He's throwing up a wall here. I was just about to suggest that he do that. And it looks like pushing through this location with population advantage. Might want to throw up another one of those another one of those Migdols, just so he can continue to produce out army quickly. As he's going through Thoth, I think a meteor on this location, or at least on the Chariot Archers of would be extremely effective. But now having to focus down siege towers with his Chariot Archers, and he's sitting on next to no economy at the moment. He's got no villages on food, and he's got no economy going because his camels have stopped moving because Spoeft actually managed to pick off the market somehow. I did miss that. In any case, it looks like with the Mythic Age of Spoeft coming up here, and a meteor going to probably come down on this location here, or this location here, to stop the production of Earth coming. Spoeft now moving in with all of his units, and it looks like a Midgard going down on Earth's only gold mine. Actually, a meteor on that location wouldn't be too bad either, like picking off all those villages. And a Phoenix now is probably going to come over here and try and harass that location, kick him off that gold mine, and basically these heavy elephants soaking up tons of damage from those Chariot Archers. Look how much he cokes up, and he just basically, I reckon there's like 21 chariots here, and that heavy elephant probably could have killed 2 of those against those 20, which is ridiculous. There's no other unit which can really do that. Look at all those villagers on wood. That's ridiculous. He's still sitting on next to no wood because he didn't invest in that early bow saw upgrade. That's just what happens. Oh, and choosing to GG out of the game before he loses his dignity anymore. This game was extremely interesting in the fact that what happened was a strategy planned out from the beginning really didn't work. He successfully did what he wanted to do, but he overcommitted to the attack. This is I'm talking about. He managed to take down 2 Migdals of Spoeft, but by the end of that, he had no units. Spoeft had every single one of his units from the start of the fight up. He was focusing on trying to kill off the Phoenix. The priest, not the Phoenix, what I'm talking about. Trying to pick off the priests to make sure his scarabs didn't die, and the siege towers kept pushing through. And what was happening was Spoeft was focusing down the chariot archers of Urt and managing to keep his chariot archers alive. So he managed to really win that fight handily, and then push through for the win. If you enjoyed this game, please rate, comment, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.